Let's talk now about multisensory. And why is teaching reading in a multisensory method so vital? Okay, we want to teach, and how do we do that? How do we accomplish that? Okay, we want to teach the sound symbol. Remember, sound, symbol, the letter C. But of course, we don't say the letter C. It's because those are the two letters that it can say, or two sounds. Okay, so we want to teach the sound symbol relationship together in the context of writing. When we write something, we're adding another sense. We're adding another modality. We're adding another avenue to the brain. And the research is showing us over and over and over again that the more we incorporate the tactile kinesthetic method of writing, the more the information is lodged correctly in the brain. And then it's available for both retrieval for both reading and writing. Okay, so multisensory learning helps us correctly input the information to the brain. Different avenues to the brain provide better retention and faster retrieval. So here's an example of brain cells, neurons, in an infant. Now, of course, we're born with all of our brain cells, and in fact, the more we live, we lose brain cells, and I say the more pregnancies we have, the more we lose. But anyway, so the splotch in the middle is actually the neuron itself. That's where the hub of the brain cell is. And then these lines that are stretching out from it, those are the dendrites and the axons, and those are what are reaching out to connect with other brain cells. And the way that the brain works is that the cells touch other brain cells and they communicate with one another, and they're sending electrical impulses, and that's how the brain functions. Okay, so we want lots and lots of connectivity of the cells. So you see when a baby is first born, there's not a lot of connections. And then as the baby grows and matures and has experiences, then the baby is going to be able to process information, be able to interact more with his world, that kind of thing. Example of what an average 6-year-old's brain would look like. And you see there's lots and lots of connections. I think of it as this is like a little country road where you've got one road and it's going to take you for a long time and there's not a whole lot of nothing else that you can connect to. This is a major metropolitan area with lots and lots of freeway systems, and you can quickly, unless of course there's a lot of traffic, in the San Francisco Bay Area we have tons of traffic, but that aside, you could quickly get somewhere on the freeway system, whereas on a country road it takes a while. So obviously when we're building brains, and that's what we're doing, we're training a brain. I keep telling my kids, we're training your brain. So when I'm training a brain, I want to do things that are going to create lots and lots of brain connections. And when I incorporate more than one sense, more than one modality to the brain in that learning process, the more brain connections I build, okay? And not only is it a faster way to get there, but the repetition, practicing that over and over, causes the brain to know where to go and go more quickly, okay? So that's what we want to do. We want to build those brain connections. Mrs. Spalding, she's the one who wrote The Writing Road to Reading. She worked with Dr. Orton back in the early 1900s, developed the Spalding Method. She said, everyone cannot play the piano by ear. This lack has nothing to do with IQ or innate ability to learn. When we limit reading instruction to visual techniques only, it's like teaching piano instruction by play-by-ear techniques alone. Many are never going to understand. So the research is showing us that about 27% of the kids, if we teach just using visual techniques, they're not going to understand. They will never understand the reading process. And it's not because they're stupid at all. These are normal, everyday, normal, intelligent, sometimes highly intelligent children. They just don't get it. That's not the way that their brains were developed to learn. And so if we're teaching using visual-only methods, then almost a third of our kids aren't going to understand. They're just not going to get it. So we need to use a method that gets all the kids, that everybody can be successful with. Okay? So Mrs. Spalding continues. She said, if all 4 avenues to the mind are used to teach reading, then only the very slowest children have difficulty. And that is with their rate of learning, not their ability to learn. They can still learn. It may take longer, but they can still learn. So multisensory teaching is when we're using all of the avenues to the mind. With spell to write and read, the child hears a word, says the word, writes the word, and then sees the word. So when we're teaching the word, we're doing it in the spelling lesson. They see how the word was built in the spelling lesson. Notice visual is last because I'm pulling in all of the other modalities. The child is completely engaged in the process. And so there, you've got the kids who don't understand visual only. Great. We're going to bring in the other senses. I cannot tell you how important the writing aspect is.